Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. We are going to look at the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and because I was asked, please speak on devotion, so best is our Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. There are other texts, nobody suggested anything, so chapter 12. If you had suggested something else, we would have taken that also. So, it is an eternal question among the seekers. What? Devotion is greater, or knowledge is greater, or karma is greater? Correct. Karma Yoga is Shrestha, Bhakti Yoga is Shrestha, or Gyaan Yoga is Shrestha. And Bhagwan has again and again mentioned it many places in Bhagavad Gita, in 6th chapter, 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter. He says, he who has full faith in me and worships me, his inner self abides in me. He says, he who has his mind intent upon me, and when by practicing yoga he takes refuge in me. Again in Bhagavad Gita only, in the 7th chapter, those who are steadfast in their mind, they strive and take refuge in me. Again in Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, those who exclusively apply their mind to me, they come to me. This is in this way. Bhagwan, there are many instances in Bhagavad Gita, even before chapter 12, where Bhagwan has showed or told that all these people who have in one way or the other, by their disposition, by their single pointedness, by offering them their mind to them, by serving him, by worshipping him, by thinking of him alone, by all others take refuge in him, and they are great devotees. Then what was the need of getting the chapter 12 coming? What is the need of it? It was required because in the 11th chapter, our Arjun was given the Vishwaroop Darshan. You know that? And after having got the Vishwaroop Darshan and seeing the magnanimity of the being that Bhagwan is, naturally Arjun, he has come from a mental crisis, identity crisis. He was told of Karma Yoga, he was told of Karma Sannyas Yoga, he was told of Dhyana Yoga, and then slowly his attention, his mind was made to expand, to understand that what he looks at the world as and concludes is not the correct conclusion. Your conclusion is what? Normal person's conclusion is what? The world is separate to me, the world is full of variety. And what did he show him in the 11th chapter? That everything is existing in him, he alone is everything. Whatever each person is going to go through in their life is already preordained by him. In the 11th chapter, Arjun was only going to get the glory of winning the war. In the Vishwarup Darshan, he has already shown to Arjun that the Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Karna and all the Kauravas are already dead. So only he was going to get the glory of it. Now, when you know everything is preordained, you know everything is nothing but the divine, what will be the question that comes through your mind? Because Arjun, having had that darshan of Vishwarup, he has come back to being the normal Arjun, standing in front of Krishna, Bhagwan. What will be in his mind the next logical or next question that will come? He has been asking questions.
What do I need to do?
Understand God.
What do I need to do? I need to understand God.
We have no control.
Huh?
We have no control on anything.
No, that is true. We have no control. He has understood that after Vishwarup Darshan. Then if I am still feeling separate to Bhagwan, having had the darshan that everything is included in Bhagwan, but that darshan I got afraid of because I was unprepared, then what will be the next consecutive course of action in the mind of Arjun? Is this 12th chapter. It begins with that question. And that question is, he says, Arjuna uvacha, you can repeat after me, evam satata yuktaye, bhaktastvām paryupasate, ye chapyaksharam avyaktam, तेषां के योगवित्तमाः अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. Those devotees, now think the background that I gave and now you think of this verse. This is the question that he is asking. Those devotees who ever steadfast thus worship you, O Lord. And how do those devotees worship? For the devotees, it is with attributes, no? Or with form. So, saguna sakar or saguna roop of the Bhagwan. And yet, there are other devotees or others, we won't use the word devotees for them, but yet there are others who worship only the aksharam avyaktam. They worship only the imperishable and the unmanifest form of yours. Nirgunaka. So some people pray to or worship to the Saguna Sakar, and some people, some seekers, they worship the Nirgun Nirakar. So his question is, Tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Out of these two, who is the better yogi? We are in the same situation. Sometimes अभी आज गणपति है तो उधर भागेंगे, और वेदांत होता है तो फिर सब गायब हो जाता है ना? तो विच इज़ बेटर? एंड दिस इज the argument which we see in among the devotees and the jnanis. That gyaan is better, and the devotees say devotion is better. Even though we have no position, but today, because we are in the 12th chapter, we'll take the position of the devotee and put our point forward and see how in the end, whether from the knowledge point of view, Nirgun Nirakar point of view, or from Saguna Sakar point of view, the realization is the same. There are some only in explanation, the technicalities are different, symptoms are different, but the realization is ever the same. The adjectives, the terminologies which are told to for the Saguna Sakar are exactly the same adjectives used for the Nirgun Nirakar, and the same adjectives are used for the Atma also. Who is God? Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satchidanand Sarup. Who is Paramatma? Nirgun Nirakar, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Nirgun Satchidananda Sarup. Who is Atma? Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satchidananda Atma. So words are same, then where's the difference? This difference appears only when we consider ourselves to be separate from that divine. There all the thinking comes in. The ultimate, just like you must have heard many times, from people walking up the mountain from different sides of the mountain. Someone is starting from north, someone from east, someone from west, someone from east. They eventually reach the same point. The destination cannot be different from any direction around the mountain. The top is only one. Exactly the same way, the realization is only one. But approach is, now we will see the approach. What are the advantages? From devotee's point of view, what is his argument as regards the karma and the gyaan approach? And why, and this is the question that Arjun is asking our Lord, and he says, Evam satata yukta ye bhaktaha. So the bhaktaha or ye bhaktaha, it stands for the devotees. And who are these devotees? It stands for the devotees who are striving to be one with the Lord, to remember the Lord, to merge into the Lord. That is the ultimate goal of the bhakta. He doesn't want to know God. If you see in Srimad Bhagavatam towards the end, where who was this? Uddhava Gita. In Uddhava Gita, when Bhagwan is sitting there with the arrow in his feet, and the last message and knowledge that he gave was to Uddhav, and Uddhav ji came, and to him he gives one meditation there. This meditation is, he's got a poisoned arrow in his feet, and he's telling this, practice this meditation. It is like in 2002, our Swamiji Anubhananji, he was in Coffs Harbour, and he was having hernia operation. So he had operation, it was still very painful, he was on drugs, and in that drugged state, he says, come tomorrow morning. And I went, and one more girl from Bombay was there. We both went in the morning. In that drug state, he put us into meditation for 1.5 hours. Best. We didn't know what hit us. And then when we told him, Swamiji, आपने ऐसे किया, अच्छा मैं सपने में भी ऐसे बोलता हूँ. Even under the influence of drugs, I am giving lectures. अरे यार. So, this is the state, and so here, all the mentions that were given about the devotees in the previous chapters, the Satata Yukta, who is this Satata Yukta? Satata means continuously. Yukta means tethered to. What is he tethered to? Satata Yukta ye. Tethered to the Lord. For him, God is everything. Is God everything for us? I'm asking. Is God everything for us? Then whom are you listening to right now? Very softly she said something. Who is he? I asked her. Huh? So, who is this Satata Yukta? Who is intoxicated with God thought? He has got no place for anything else. His eyes are seeing everything, hearing everything, smelling everything, thinking everything, but everything for him is nothing but the God himself. This is Satayukta. He is continuously striving to merge into that which is everything, that which is divine. If everything is divine, this entire creation is divine. If the entire creation is the, हमने बोला ना, water is the material of the waves and water is the creator of the waves. So it is the nimitta karan and upadan karan. Upadan means material, nimitta means the efficient cause. So if everything in this creation has been created by the Lord, and He is the material of the whole creation, why am I not seeing Him? So by giving validity to the variety, am I going to merge into Him? Am I going to merge into Him? It's not going to be possible. Something has to shift in the mind. In the class, like yesterday, many people said, day before yesterday, Swamiji, that was fantastic. I was just there. Kapil was saying, I was just there. I just didn't know where I was. I was in tune with every word. It was. After that, what happened? Immediately, wife and children phone call. Huh? Wife and children phone call. So, if in our mind continuously we are committed, we are striving for the Lord, but other thoughts of the world are still coming. We will explain all that, why that happens, and then we are still a striver. And as long as this separation, as long as this otherness or differences are maintained, till then merging will not happen. Satata Yukta ye. So here when we say Satata Yukta, we are not talking about not merging, we are talking about positively that the striver, the seeker, the sadhak, he is steadfast in his contemplation of the Lord. He is continuously striving. He sees the wife, but eyes are seeing the form, but the mind is saying it is an expression of the divine. Children, same thing, divine alone is expressing here. Not only inside the body, but as the body also. Because the material is. Then when this thing happens, that everything in this creation is nothing but divine, then what will you do? What do you do? Only serve. Only seva. Only seva. And what is service? I am doing the service Or what does it mean to be selfless service? You are using that word. What is selfless service?
God is doing through us.
It is happening through
Not
us.
expecting any,
Not expecting.
That is true, not expecting anything. That the seeker has already come to that point. He wants to merge. In that merging, he has to serve. Suppose, if we are saying, so how will he serve? He will consider the body, breath, mind, intellect. He will consider every object that he owns or possesses or comes by. Because he doesn't see anything in this world as other than God, he will use that because there is no sense, this is my shawl. Someone gave it to me in Kathmandu. I think I can't. That person will feel hurt if I give it to someone. Huh? But that fellow doesn't know what I have done with it. Then why am I not giving it away if someone needs it? Because attachment. I think it's a very nice pashmina, Without doing anything, I got it. And how do we establish it? Oh, because my friend gave it to me with so much love. I should maintain that at least for 1 year I should use it and show him next year that I'm still using it. And then I can give it away. If it happens intuitively, it's different. But if it is from attachment, then it is a problem. Then such a person uses his body, his thoughts, his efforts, his abilities, his possessions, everything for the service of the world. Not that he goes, "Acha, aja, main tere ko serve karta hu." Not like that. But anything that comes in front of him, he will serve. This is the karma part, side of it. If the thought is there that I have to help the world, then karma yoga is going on. If it is spontaneously going on, then bhakti yoga is going on. Gyaan yoga will come. But if the seeker, as we said just now, that sometimes on the seat of meditation, in the class, we feel we are at one ment with the God. Our mind has absorbed, for even though temporarily, we feel, oh, I feel everything in my life is just going the right way. Things are happening. I feel myself surrounded by divinity. I feel the vibration. And continuously the feeling is coming that I am very close to God. I don't feel separate from Him. But after that feeling in meditation, or in a bhajan, or in a satsang, or in a retreat, after we come out, if the thought of the world, thought of the family, thought of possessions, thought of anything other than the divine comes into the mind, error has happened, isn't it? This error must not happen. So our striving is falling short somewhere. The sadhaka is falling short somewhere. See? The devotee is wanting to merge. And to merge, his individuality must dissolve completely. Same language we used yesterday in the retreat also. The one who wants to dissolve is still seeing the differences. The one who is merging with the Lord or has come to this conviction that there is nothing but the divine and nothing else other than divine in this creation, he will not see the differences. Why? He is not available to the differences. A karma yogi is available to the differences. Bhakta yogi, he is unavailable to the differences. We are talking about the peak of his devotion. He is unavailable to the differences. Then what is? राधे 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 गोविंदा अपना भजन लगा हुआ उसका. whether by mouth, whether by in mind. He is not aware of the circumstances, he is not aware of the body, he is not aware of the breath, he is not aware whether he is alive or dead, he is not aware whether there is hunger or thirst, he is not aware whether other people are throwing stones on him or they are put him on a pedestal. He is not aware of anything except other than the God himself. Whether Sagun, we'll take it as Sagun at this moment. Then what about the other yogi who is meditating on God as Nirgun Nirakar? Is Nirgun Nirakar? Where will you catch Nirgun Nirakar? We have given it a word Brahman, isn't it? Where will you catch Brahman? Where will you catch? Will you catch him out there in the world? Then what is this devotee who's following the Nirgun Nirakar Bhakti? Where does he end up? Or where does he focus? Sagun Sakar, it is easy. Karma Yogi, the world is the expression of the divine, so he's serving the world. The devotee, he's got the chavi of the Lord in front of his eyes and he wants to merge into him. But what about the Nirgun Nirakar Yogi?
Thoughtlessness. Silence, thoughtlessness.
Think.
Space. Space.
Yeah, but if he's thinking of space, then it is not Nirgun Nirakar, no? Space is emptiness. We are talking about reality. We are talking about divinity. Divinity cannot be inert. Space is inert. From yoga's point of view, it is a thought. From Vedanta point of view, it is zero, nothingness. So is space, so we can't bring it there. So what will this yogi who is meditating on Nirgun Nirakar, where will be his focus? कभी सोचा नहीं होगा आपने? Looking at the world, ब्रह्मन ने बनाया. ब्रह्मन तो निर्गुण निराकार है, तो फिर उसमें सारे आकार कहाँ से आए? No, he is all inclusive. अगर all inclusive तो उसका फॉर्म क्या है? वो तो डिवोटी कर रहा था. Devotee was meditating on that form. So those who are jnanis, those who are Vedantis, if they are practicing it correctly, then where is their focus? Their focus is on the self, Atma. Tattvamasi. This self is that reality. So his attention is on this. See, when you are doing karma yoga, you are serving the world as the expression of the divine, as the expression of the Lord. And in that, there are so many distractions. Which is the biggest distraction? Because if the world is divine, but my family is my family, my children are my children, my body is my body, but rest of the world is divine. But in that world, your body, your family, your children, your wife, your husband, your parents, everything is included. So in the Karma Yogi, his nears and dears and his possessions become more, they remain with him, but he keeps doing the karma kand, the pujas, the havans, or dan, tapa, etc., in order to melt his individuality. And in its place, see that everything, as that individuality melts. And how does it melt? By purification. What is that purification here? That purification is nothing is mine, everything is Lord's. This is the attitude of the Karma Yogi. Nothing is mine, everything is Lord's. So Lord serving the Lord, intuitively anything happens, there is no question that I must hold back from sharing or giving or serving or whatever. अखंडानंद जी महाराज का नाम तुमने सुना होगा, all of you have heard. Akhandananji Maharaj. So he was born in a Brahmin family. And at a young age of 18 I think, they got him married. The father was getting old, he was not very well, in the early 19th century. So he was taught, a very smart kid. From childhood he was taught Sanskrit and he had the interest in studying the scriptures. The father taught him very well. He did the Sanskrit exams and everything. And once he has finished, the father said, "Come, let's go." And what does the Pandit do or priest do? He has his own set of clients in different cities. He will go and do puja here, he will go and do puja there. He knows each person's gotra. So according to, अरे यार तुम्हारे इधर शनि आ रहा है, उसको ज़रा शांत कर देते हैं, अब घर में पूजा करो, फिर इधर सत्यनारायण करो, उधर हवन करो, उधर गणपति होम करो. And this way they'll go for 10-15 days, 1 month, 2 months, go around. That way the Sanatan Dharma is also spread. The values that our culture has, that is also spread. But at the same time, the priest, that is his way of subsistence. So whatever dakshina comes with that, his family runs for another few months. So the second time when he went, his father sent him. He says, "I will stay, you go now. I showed you who all are there." So he went and came back after 1.5 months or 1 month. And when he came back, everyone was waiting. When is Akhandananda coming? Whatever his name was before. And when he came back, everyone just jumped onto his bags. "What did you bring? What did you bring? What did you bring?" So they were not interested in him coming back. They were interested in what he brings back. And this, in that young boy, it became very distinctly clear that the family is not for me, the family is for what I can procure. So he said he did an experiment with himself and with the family. For 1 week, he kept studying his scriptures, going to Mahatmas. There were ashrams around. So he used to go to the ashrams, have discussions, learn at their feet of the masters. 1 week went, 2 weeks went. He didn't go again to puja. 3 weeks went, and after the 3rd week, the family members are saying, "Arey, you are not going out anywhere? They must be waiting. You have to go to, this time you went this side, now you have to go to the south of wherever in UP, to Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat and all." He says, "No, kya karna hai? It's okay. I'm finding interest in discussing with the Mahatmas, the Bhagavad, the Gita, etc." By the time 4th month came, they pushed him out of the house. "Go." He went, and he didn't come back. He went straight to Gorakhpur and stayed there, studied. And in the initial times, if you see Srimad Bhagavatam from Gorakhpur Gita, from Gita Press, the commentary is written by Akhandananji. And then he stayed there. He used to, so Podarji was there and Goenkaji was there. They said, "I got a family." They said, No, you are very intelligent." Because what he used to do, I'm just making it short, that after 1st month he went away. He did few times that what he started doing was, he started speaking on scriptures or giving the explanation of pujas. And people started enjoying him. They were less interested in the pujas, they were more interested in the pravachan. And these Goenka and Podarji, they heard him and they said, "You come and give Srimad Bhagavat sessions in Gorakhpur." And that's how whole thing came about. He says, "I can, but I have to take care of my family." They said, "You don't worry, we will take care of them." And they took care of the family, and eventually the family and the children, they came to Gorakhpur to stay. but he never used to talk to them. And eventually he took sannyas from Udiya Baba. Udiya Baba. So even though he was in Grahastha ashram, he took sannyas. And the family kept following him. Wherever he went. They built the ashram. People built the ashram, Akhandananda ashram in Vrindavan. But his family used to stay there. But he will not indulge in anyone, with anyone. So in karma, this is the problem. That whatever happens, the thought of the family, the thought of the parents, it's very difficult to erase that out of your system, as much as you may try. What about in gyaan marg? Jnani, who are jnanis? Nirgun Nirakar. They are also called yogis only. So this was karma yogi, this is jnana yogi. So what is the problem with him? The problem with jnana yogi is he may keep thinking about Nirgun Nirakar, about Brahman, but a sense of I continues to remain. A sense of I continues to remain. To purify in karma yoga, you have to give up everything. You have to control your senses. With reference to your children, with reference to your wife, with reference to your parents, very difficult. You have to control your senses, you have to control your mind. They will say many things, no reaction. Same thing, in the Jnana Yoga also, lot of importance is given to control of senses and control of mind, isn't it? Shamadama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. हो गया. Control of Shamadama is control of mind and control of senses. And even after that control, very rare few are able to merge into that infinite Nirgun Nirakar Tattva. Why? I am thinking about that Nirgun Nirakar Tattva. But what is the motivation to control the senses? If you loosen your hold on the senses for one moment, they will scatter again. You lose Nirgun Nirakar, there is no thought. Nirgun Nirakar means beyond thought, beyond comprehension of the mind. And you are using your mind and your attention to think about that which cannot be thought. Very difficult. We make it easy when we give lectures, but very difficult. I'm talking from devotion point of view. So it's very difficult. Because how can you think that which cannot be thought? How can you understand that which cannot be understood? Vedanta. And they say, you are that. Bolna asan hai. And yes, it is true, you can think, but a sense of I, till you don't merge, the sense of I will remain. Sense of I will remain. And how does the I merge then? A rare few it will happen. So, before you were not a jnani, you purified yourself, you controlled your senses, then you became a jnani. By contemplating, you know all the scriptures inside out, you know the thoughts inside out, you are contemplating on the Atma, you are attentive of the Atma, you are attentive of you have done the neti, I am not the world, I am not the body, I am not the breath, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the life principle, I am the Atma. But I am the Atma, still I is there. That I am the Atma thought has to also go away. That takes long time to dissolve. Until perfection is not gained, there is no error in the mind. Till then, that merging will not happen in the Gyaan Marg. Otherwise, the sense of I and Brahman will remain separate. You have got all convictions, you have got all understanding, but separation will remain. Merging will not happen. Now we come to devotion, the Bhakta Yogi. For Bhakta Yogi, he begins with devotion. And what is the conclusion? Devotion alone. And what is the path? Devotion only. So he begins with bhakti, he performs bhakti, and he concludes in bhakti. So he has got no senses to control. He has got no mind to control. All he has to do is love the Lord. That's all. Can you love Nirgun Nirakar? Can you love Nirgun Nirakar? There is nothing to hold on to. Can you love the whole world for a karma yogi? No, I love my family more, but rest of the world it's okay. That thing which I have given importance, I love that, but rest of the things I don't love. So I'll do puja because here I get more dakshina. So I will do it here. But other one, nahi, chhod yaar. They don't give me respect. They don't give me a high seat to sit. So ये भेद भाव, because so much variety in karma yoga, the variety is valid. So automatically, if the senses are not under control, the mind will go into this bifurcation, giving importance to something, giving less importance to something. See? And the duality continues. And then he started doing karma yoga to purify, but he's creating more data unknowingly. You understand? But devotee, he says, I don't know how to control my senses. I don't know that world is God. I don't know. IDK. I don't know. Then what do I know? I only know that I have love for the Lord. I only know that I love Krishna. I love Rama. I love Shiva, whatever his deity is. And he keeps invoking that love, unconcerned what practices have to be done. He is not concerned about that. He is only concerned about his merging into the divine. And the only way he knows is through devotion. And what is devotion? What is devotion for him?
Love for God.
Love for God is devotion. But see, when you say love for God, now I have to make one correction here. When you say love for God, means God is separate and I have to express love towards him. Isn't it? So that duality is still maintained.
Bhakti is there.
No, wait. That is what we are saying. Bhakti begins that way. But the para bhakti which we are talking about, the prema bhakti which we are talking about, not para. Para is nirgun nirakar. What is prema bhakti? Prema bhakti is that I want to merge into the divine to such an extent. And what is merging here? That what I am seeing is divine, who is seeing is also divine. My mouth is chanting the Lord's name. Whose name is chanting? The Lord's name. The word is also the Lord. The chanting is also done by the Lord. The mouth is also the Lord. The one behind who's prompting the mantra is also the Lord. The idea that came into this mind is also Lord. The one who is instigating this thought in the mind is also the Lord. It is Lord playing with the Lord. This is ultimate merging. And for that he practices bhakti. And if I have come across masters who are in the ultimate state of devotion. In Varanasi I was staying for 6 months, and there one Mahatma was there. He was called as राम भक्त के कुछ नाम था उनका, भी याद नहीं आ रहा. हनुमान बाबा. And he used to just chant only Ram, 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 Ram. He didn't sleep, didn't eat. And I came to know, my friend, I went, visited, they kept us waiting outside. And I came to know about him last day that I am going from Varanasi. And 4 o'clock is my train. And I am waiting outside. This is at 2 o'clock or 2:30. And he gives darshan. at 3 to 3:30, half an hour only he'll give darshan. 4 o'clock is the train. Not mine. Mine is 6 o'clock. The friend of mine, his is 4 o'clock. Oh. And eventually we told the person there, see, our train is there, we really want to have darshan, this, that. Babaji बैठे हुए थे. They opened the door. We went in. He is sitting there. The moment we entered, in our mind also, Ram 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 started. In our mind also, Ram 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 started. Sat down. He didn't say anything. Just sitting there. The mala is there. He's just chanting Ram, Ram, Ram in his own pace. And when we asked some questions, he just looked at the watch. And the other fellow came to understand. He says, he's saying your train is going to leave. ऐसे once we were 1995, I went with Swamiji to Chardham. We were in Uttar Kashi, and outside the temple there, Saumya Kashi Jyotirling, they call it. So it is the Uttar Kashi. So just like we have Kashi Vishwanath, this is Saumya Kashish, but it is in Uttar Kashi. And just outside Uttar Kashi, opposite the temple, there is the Devi Shakti Peeth. And there is a pillar from this ground up till the ceiling, maybe a little bit higher. Such, the bar, spear, जो त्रिशूल होता है ना, it's the trishul with a damru carved in it in stone only. And it is standing there. And they have tried to find out what material out of which it is made. Till today they have not been able to find out. They have tried to dig and see how deep it goes into the earth. They have not been able to find how deep it goes into the earth. और डमरू लगा हुआ उस पर and trishul on the top. Next to that there is a ground. Now he is no longer there. Next to that there is a ground. Swamiji took all of us in the previous batch and we went. The moment we opened the door of the park, in the park there is one small kutia. In that kutia, again this Baba's name is also Hanuman Baba. Old, very old person. And the moment we opened the gate, as if, if you have seen Matrix, suddenly someone takes over and the ability to fly the helicopter comes or the martial arts comes, and same way, we were transformed. Literally that type of feeling. And what started happening? Ram 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 started in our mind, whether we like it or not. And as we kept walking towards the kutia, the Ram 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 is increasing. And when we went inside, we all sat in front of Hanuman Baba. We don't know, at least I am talking about myself, others also said the same thing, that mind is absolutely calm. The tears are flowing through the eyes. Body is just heightened awareness. It's just shaking. And we have not done any sadhana. No control of senses. This is the power of devotion. It affects. We are not here to affect people, but here we are talking about the sadhaka. Arjuna has asked, who is the greater devotee? Who is the greater sadhaka? Who is the greater striver? Is it the bhakta yogi? Or is it the one who follows sagun sakar? Or the one who follows nirgun nirakar? When you follow sagun sakar, when you look at the world, does it conclude anywhere? The universe, does it conclude anywhere? Then what is happening to the universe? According to science, what is happening to
Infinite.
ever expanding? Very important point. It is ever expanding. So when you have sagun sakar bhakti, and you are in love with the form of the Lord, your bhakti is only going to keep expanding and expanding and expanding. It's never going to end. And that's the joy of the Sagun Sakar sadhana. In Nirgun Nirakar, you have to wait to merge. You can only come to us, you can only knock on the door. The door has to open from inside. Nirgun Nirakar. When it happens, it happens. But in Sagun Sakar sadhana, you can never have that love which you have for Krishna or Radha or Ramchandraji. You can never invoke that type of love to Nirgun Nirakar because no form. What? Something to be triggered inside your heart, something has to be there in front of you. नहीं कुछ नहीं है ये ऐसे भी नहीं होता. So here it is told that Sagun Sakar sadhana, once you reach the climax, it keeps expanding. Once you merge into it, there is no end to it. The fulfillment in it is continuous expansion. Continuous expansion. With that understanding, we will move forward. So the devotee, he doesn't think of the Lord. Because if he's thinking, I have to think of the Lord, then Lord is separate and he is separate. He is not thinking in this way. His disposition is, God is inside. Yesterday we did, no? Pashchaat, सर्वम खल्विदम ब्रह्म. उसके पहले हम बोल रहे थे ना, तो हमें वह प्रत्यक्षम ब्रह्मासीत, वो क्या है, पश्चातात पुरस्तात. हाँ, तो means he is up, down, inside, outside, left, right, in all directions he is spread. There is no place that he is not. And to say that, then it was said, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasi, that he is everywhere. So here the devotee also is seeing the Lord, that everything is included in the Lord, and that Lord is ever expanding. That means his love for the Lord is ever expanding, because that Lord who is expressing as this whole creation is ever expanding. There is no conclusion to it. Whereas in Nirgun Nirakar, you will go into Samadhi, then what will you do? You will have to come out. The world is still there. In Karma Yoga, we told you the error that happens, that mine is mine, others are others. The duality is maintained. Attachment is still there. Until unless extreme control of the senses and withdrawal of the mind is not brought about. Same way in gyaan also, withdrawal of the senses, withdrawal of the mind, and when they say yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, that the nirgun nirakar tattva, the Brahman, the Paramatma tattva, is beyond the words and it is beyond the comprehension of the mind. But here we are using Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. We are invoking with that every word. The love in our heart is welling up to merge into that Krishna Tattva, or that Krishna that we see in front of us. With this I'll conclude. The Uddhav Gita I was talking about. In that Uddhav Gita, Bhagavan says that the best way, one of the exercises, gives many techniques of meditation there, but the one which I'll take one of them, and that is, he says, this is Sagun Sakar sadhana. He says, bring the picture of the Lord in your heart. Or first he says, imagine an upside down lotus in your heart. Then while you are thinking of that lotus, see that lotus becoming straight. First it was upside down, now it is becoming straight. And in that lotus, in the pollen, you see the form of the Lord standing there, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. And as you keep thinking of the Chaturbhuj Narayan again and again. And how do you see it? He says, you don't see him inert. You see that his pitambar is blowing in the wind. You see the locks of his hair blowing in the breeze. And you see the smile change every now and then. And that way it is not a Jada Vigraha, but it is Chaitanya Vigraha. So these are some ways by which you can not go into Jada Samadhi. And once you have done that, as your love and contemplation and devotion to the Lord is increasing, eventually, first you will see the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Kirita, Kamarband. You will see the entire description of the Lord is given, that he's got the Kaustubhamani, he's got the Vanamala, and then he's got the wristbands and the bands on his biceps, and the tilakam is there, the makara kundal is there, and the black hair are there, and he's standing, his 2 feet are there. And as you see all this, and as your love keeps heightening by looking at him, eventually your mind will get attracted to 3 places. He says, Bhagavan is telling Uddhavji, either your mind will get focused on the 3rd eye of the Lord, so 2 eyes, physical eyes, and in the middle is the 3rd eye. You can't see it because the Nama is there, but your attention is there. It will get attracted there, if it gets. Or your attention will get attracted to his 2 lips, the upper lip and the lower lip, and the Lord never keeps his lips completely squeezed shut. They are always open. So your attention is on the gap between the 2 lips, the opening between the 2 lips. And the third is place where your attention can get attracted is the feet of the Lord. Again, when he's standing straight, his 2 feet are next to each other. There is a gap between the 2 feet. They are not touching each other completely. So take any of these 3, and any one of these 3 will attract you. So what is happening here? 2 eyes. You are seeing the 2 eyes. Eventually your attention from the 2 eyes will go to the 3rd eye, and you will lose yourself in his 3rd eye. When your attention is on the 2 lips, first what was happening, before I go ahead, you were looking at the various aspects of his form. I already explained the pitambar, the blueness of his skin, and the various ornaments that he is wearing, etc. But there is still too much distraction in your mind. Your attention is, I want to merge in the Lord. When this bhav is cultivated in the mind, or it comes in your mind by his grace, then your attention goes to the 2 eyes or the 2 lips or the 2 feet. But there the bhav is still the same. Now your attention is only on the 2 eyes to the exclusion of the rest of his body, or your attention is on the 2 lips to the exclusion of the rest of the body, or your attention is on the 2 feet to the exclusion of his body and the variety that is present there. Still it's not enough. You want to merge, because still you are seeing 2 eyes, still you are seeing 2 lips, still you are seeing 2 feet. And that is the point. Between the 2 lips the gap is there, between the 2 feet the gap is there, between the 2 eyes the 3rd eye point is there. And as you keep remembering the divine and the urge, it's not even an urge, it is an acceptance that he alone is everything. Somewhere, sometime, doesn't take too long, you will get sucked into the 3rd eye and become one with him. You'll get sucked into the 2 lips, between the 2 lips, and merge into him, or you will get merge between the 2 feet and merge into him. And that is the ultimate consummation of the devotee. And after that, his love for the Lord increases even further, and he continues and continues and continues. This is how Krishna Bhagavan is explaining to Uddhavji. So here in this first verse, I have explained more than I was supposed to. एवं सतत युक्ता ये भक्तांस्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरम् अव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. And in this today, in this satsang, what we have seen, the short, all three are valid, but Arjun is asking which is better. Bhakti yoga is better on the Saguna Sakar, or the yogi who is contemplating on the Nirgun Nirakar is better, and it goes without saying the yogi who is doing Karma Yoga is better. So we have tried to explain that. Now we'll look at it. What is what the answer Bhagwan Krishna gives to Arjun? He says, we'll just chant that and we'll conclude. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Veshamano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te me Yuktatama Mataha Yuktatama Mataha. Those who, fixing their minds on me, worship me ever steadfast, are endowed with supreme faith, are the most perfect yogis in my opinion. I'll tell you the difference between love and faith in our next class. There is a difference. Is it by love we become one with the Lord, or is it by faith we become one with the Lord? In a short answer, you can think, love we want to possess. In faith, we want to merge. Keep thinking. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment.